and welcome to the God is a Geek podcast. My name is Adam Cook and it's episode 398. We are here, as you can see us all. As I say, my name is Adam Cook and there is Adam Carroll.
Hi.
And Christopher White.
Hello.
And Gary Bailey.
Hi.
Okay, and if you're wondering why there's an ever so slight delay, it's because this is a video podcast as well, and I was pointing to people, and they were looking for their cues, because we're professional videographers now, and they're waiting for their cues. They're, there's a clapperboard, and there isn't. Video games are happening. There's some I'm playing that I can't talk about, just to annoy Adam, and Chris is looking on very slyly, knowing exactly what's going on. But Adam Carroll's just there, all like, what game is it? I can possibly imagine. But there are new games coming out all the time, and one of which we're going to talk about, and we're just going to get straight into it this week, because it doesn't come much bigger than Minecraft Dungeons. Minecraft Dungeons. Hands up if you've played it, but also speak, because,
I have not played it.
Chris, you're missing out on one of the video games released this year. It's not untrue. Adam, so you've played this then?
Yeah, it's actually the most time I've put into Minecraft.
Okay, I was going to ask this, right, because
Is that offensive to Minecraft fans?
no, not everyone loves Minecraft. Did you play it because it's on Game Pass, or because you're like, I'm interested in what this is?
We're pro Xbox gamer here now, you see. So
Well, of course. I'm surprised you haven't got the, I suppose you haven't got the clobber yet to match it. The Xbox,
exactly.
or just a T-shirt with your gamer tag.
Yeah, exactly. No, Game Pass. Obviously, this is the first time that I've been able to experience a new game coming out on Game Pass and just getting it there and then, and it was a nice little feeling, to be honest. No, it is Minecraft Dungeons, but I was up for actually trying this out in general because
you like Diablo and
big fan.
Yeah, you're a big fan, aren't you? Just as we're talking, I'm thinking, I remember actually he's a massive Diablo fan.
Yeah, so obviously I'm not expecting it to be fucking Diablo
What were
quality.
you expecting though? What were you thinking this would be?
The basically the role of Diablo in a more simpler fashion and just easy going.
Right.
That's what I was going in for, and I think for the most part that's what I got. I've enjoyed the little bit of what I've played. Well, not the little bit, I've played a fair bit of it, to be honest. But
there isn't that much of it. If I'm honest.
There isn't that much. It's quite short. But I don't know. It's hard to judge on this kind of style of game because, as I said, it's only Diablo that I've played of this type. I don't know if Minecraft Dungeons is it's definitely one that everyone should play if you're into this style of game, But I think it's good fun. Are you not having fun with this?
I am quite surprised at it because I played the beta, which actually wasn't. Well, it was a beta, I guess, to test out the online functionality, but it seemed more like it was actually a preview build because I stopped. If you remember on the podcast, I said I played a bit of it, and I deliberately stopped because when I looked at the map, I thought, well, I want to play this when it's done. So I stopped, and then when I played the final version, we got the code really late. I think everyone did it. Certainly in the UK, got the code really late, on a Friday it was 3 days before embargo. And normally when you see that, you're like, oh shit, but that's more than enough time to complete this game several times over because it's 4.5 hours long. Now I'm not, down on it because it's long. They're not long, but there is there's a node on that map that says I don't know what it's called, the Shimmering Isles or something. That might be Sea of Thieves. I don't know, but it's whatever it is. It's coming soon to the marketplace.
Yeah.
And when the game is that slight, 4.5 hours long, I'm not sure you should be advertising paid DLC within the game at launch when it's already that short.
How much is the game
20 quid, I think. 20 quid. It is and I tell you what, if this had come out 7 years ago as a summer of Xbox Live Arcade game, a 1200 points game, I would absolutely have no issue with that. That's what it feels like to me. It's a strange game. It is a Diablo-like. It is child's first Diablo, I suppose. But I also don't like the way the progression works. So you get to the last level. I played co-op all the way through with my son, and you get to the last level, and then the difficulty is oh no, this is above your power level. and like, what? It's like, well, what do you want me to do? Oh, you just want me to go and replay all the previous levels on harder levels to level up to.
Because you can. Like, there's like a bar to go up. I think it's like 5 or 6.
5 or 6, yeah. And that, like, once you complete it, you unlock other modes, which are essentially harder modes. I just don't think that there's enough there, full stop. Like, I don't think some of the loot's cool, but some of it is just not. Like, I don't know, I found like a major bug in the last boss that like literally glitched myself and my son out of that, and it's like, that's not, like, I'm sorry, man, I don't want to be down on Microsoft, but like, what with Ori coming out like not finished, like needing multiple client patches, now this is like, what are you doing? You're trying to get all this goodwill towards your new console, talking about how the great things that this Xbox Series X is going to do and how you've bought all these studios, but the studios that are putting out games are putting out bug-ridden, glitchy games. What are you playing at?
Can I say that, like, you sent me that video of the glitch, and I was like, oh, that's not great. I
might be able to drop it in to this podcast so it comes up as we're talking about it. With
it looked very poor. I will say
that's the last boss, by the way, Ad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I don't know how much you've played of it specifically, but like, if you
I'm kind of coming up to that.
Okay, well, if you die in a level and you use up all your lives, you start the level again, and that level's quite long. And it was like, nah, how's this happened?
Do you know what I noticed was happening for me? I had a couple of frame rate issues.
Oh.
Like,
in the cutscenes or in the gameplay?
In the game.
Wow.
Like, it just felt like, no, I'm playing it on a base PS or base Xbox.
It is out on PS4 and Switch and PC and Xbox.
Wow. But this was, I felt, when everything was getting very heated in the combat and stuff, like, because there's certain abilities, like you have your bow and arrow, for example, early on, and very early in the game you get a charged like shot that kind of does like explosive radius, whatever. So like if you have 10 enemies or something, it'll do damage to them. Like, and you can build that up more and more, make it more powerful. And I felt like the more powerful I was making certain moves and stuff, like it was, or attacks, the frame rate would start quickly stuttering.
Really?
And it was like, oh, that's not great for a game like Minecraft. No, I'm not, like, it's not asking for much, is it? Really?
It does look nice, though. I mean, I will say it's really a lovely looking game.
Yeah, it's lovely looking, and I think, see, this is the thing. Then, like, what is the audience in Minecraft currently? Like, what's the age audience? Like,
see, I think the audience in Minecraft is everyone. Like, I would easily sit and play Minecraft.
But for the most part, are we? Would there be still a younger generation?
Yeah, I think it is like a younger set that's the main target audience. I think now.
Minecraft, like
Minecraft.
I
think just Minecraft in general.
I think that's fair. I mean, there are magazines made dedicated to Minecraft that I'm not buying, but this is the thing, right? I feel like a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Minecraft Dungeons, yeah, oh yeah, but it's for kids." Okay. But I think that's too broad of a thing. Like, so for example, Chris, your kids, are you happy saying how old they are?
Yeah, 10 and 7.
Right, so your children I'm talking about, would be, I think, maybe the ideal age for Minecraft Dungeons.
Oh, so
mine, 13 and 15, have surprised me because I played through it all with my son. But saying that, I can also see that my son has literally gone, oh, is that it? Yeah, I'm done, and he's back on his other stuff, right? Because so I think saying it's for kids is like, I really don't think in 2020 we are or should be in a position where games that are aimed at kids are like, yeah, they're all right, probably for kids. Like, games for kids, we're not talking about the age of like, oh, they made a Cars game, and Cars is too recent, but you know what I mean? Like, when licensed games, oh yeah, but they're for kids. Yeah, but that doesn't. Kids have got discerning palates these days. I don't think that people always shit on Fortnite. Fortnite's a really well-made, good game. Just because you don't like it, you can't go, it's for kids. It's a good game. It's well made.
Yeah. I don't know. Like when you're saying that, like, I think your own kids, Adam, like, they play a lot of games, right?
Yeah, too much, to be honest. Yeah.
They play a lot of games, so they're kind of. They've experienced more. Like, if I take my nephew, for example, who just found out that I got an Xbox and nearly exploded with excitement because he was like, we can play it together online. I was like,
that's a lovely thing.
See, he doesn't play, like, as much of the games world. He's not getting like the new games. He's not up to date with that stuff. Do you know what I mean? But he knows Minecraft Dungeons exists, and for him, like he is like 10, like. But he still would look at that and go, oh, and he'd see like, you know, the legendary gear and stuff, and he'd get a kick out of it, you know. And it's, I think, for me to jump in with my nephew and play that kind of game, because he's never played anything like that.
No,
that's where it's benefiting, I feel, as well. You know, like you're not going to throw them straight into Diablo, like even though you could, and they could easily pick it up. But Diablo goes so deep into stats as well. Yeah. Like I think like Minecraft Dungeons just for the most part is doing a grand job,
but like
at what it's trying to go for.
But even
for its price as well.
Well, fair point. Well, free if you're on a Game Pass.
Exactly.
But that's the thing. I feel like they're making games for that thing, rather than.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing though. No, it's like because you think of how many games, even like the big AAA ones, you wouldn't play. Until
yeah, but I don't
like they go on Game Pass.
But I don't feel like people are downloading them and finishing them.
There is.
I would love to see the stat that we will never see.
Yeah,
like,
you said that before.
X million games downloaded. How many of them got like the achievement for finishing? So that's, in fact, I saw that somewhere on social media. Someone, what was it? Reddit. It might have been Reddit. And I saw someone had downloaded Alien Isolation on Game Pass, completed it, and took a screenshot, and it was like 4% got this, and it was the achievement for completing the game. And it's like that to me. It's a long game, but what I'm saying is that is a damn. Although I'm not sure of how much those achievement stats are correct, but like I just found like the emeralds as well. Like you know you can spend emeralds for like a blind box at your camp.
Oh yeah.
But why wouldn't you? What else is there to do with them?
I think
I've only put about an hour in, so
okay.
I don't really know yet.
I'm not saying like it's just to just take this game and accept it for what it is. Like I definitely,
it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad,
but like I think it's kind of, I don't know. There is something maybe to be said if you're saying, oh, it's dropping for free on the likes of Game Pass, or it's just $20. You know, do they need to really go so deep with a game like that? Would it be nice if Minecraft Dungeons went that deep? Probably, but like, is there like with upcoming DLC and stuff like that that's going to
that
come
really
down
rankled
the line?
me. I can't lie to you. That's really like I feel. But the other thing, man, right? And this is the thing that we've not talked about. Whether or not, you know, I mean, Chris, I know you've played Minecraft, and I'm sure your girls play Minecraft.
Oh yeah,
right?
absolutely.
You know, and we've all played Minecraft. Well, Adam's not, you know, but you know what I'm saying. Most people know what Minecraft's all about. Okay.
Yeah.
This is, whether you like to say it or not, alright, it's not Minecraft 2, it's not the direct sequel. This is the next Minecraft game from the people who made Minecraft.
Yeah.
And to me, just like a Naughty Dog game, I have expectations when they announce a game. You know, I'm just trying to think of a studio similar. Platinum Games, for example. They announced, like Nier, for example, has set my expectations for that studio. This is the first brand new game from the Minecraft studios in the Minecraft series.
But do you think though that they're like kind of going, we don't really need to dish out Minecraft 2 yet? Like, people are still going mental, so they're just going, what can we do now? And it's like, well, let's do this then. Or I don't know how much they had to say. I would say a lot, but like when Minecraft Telltale came out back when, story mode and stuff like that, I think that's what they're just going to do until like they really see a decrease in players in the original Minecraft game. I don't know what they do in Minecraft 2. Like I don't know. I
don't. I mean, that's, I can't.
I don't know if there will be one.
No.
What could they do? Because
I think they'll just keep iterating on what Minecraft is now, keep adding new content, and I think that's kind of what's happening with the sort of the ray tracing stuff.
Yes,
that's being added. I just think that's all we're going to get. We're not going to get Minecraft 2.
But even the story of Dungeons is like, yeah, Telltale did a better one. I mean, guys, sorry, mate, you've played a bit of this. What did you think of what you played? It sounds like you played really less than Adam, even. Okay.
I mean, it's kind of what I want right now. You know, like. You're playing all these big games, like complex games. I kind of like the fact that I can just go in here, just mash A for a while.
Yeah,
you know, you can just hold it down if you want to.
Yeah, sorry, you can. And
I tap, but you can hold.
Yeah, I just find it quite fun. It's just like, I'm enjoying just running around, just shooting the bow, and just I enjoyed the humor as well. Like I quite like the intro. The intro was quite fun.
I do enjoy the. I think it's like the title cutscene. You got the two guys and they kind of just like bro fist each other like that. It's really cool. They're just looking down at like what they have to achieve.
But I don't know. Once I finish it in a few hours, maybe I'll be like you, be kind of like it should have been more, but I'm kind of happy.
I thought there would
with
be
what
a
I've got
second
so
map
far.
screen. That map screen you're looking at, I thought that would be like Act 1 and then another, but it's not. And
Are they testing the waters here with this game? Are they going, let's do this. This is enough for now, for the price, for what it's doing, for what it's going to come out to. And if the audience are like, this is great, I want more Minecraft Dungeons, are they just going to go, right, here you go, here's all these stats, here's everything, here's all, and get deeper and deeper with it? Is that, like, because if they put all their energy into something, like, that's what's so tricky about a thing like Minecraft. It's like, how do you do something else to appeal to the masses of something like Minecraft? Like, that makes people go, oh, I'll step away from doing this, and yeah, this is what I want in Minecraft now. It's so tricky. It's such a difficult thing to achieve for a game that's so... The same with Fortnite. Fortnite's the exact same. If Fortnite dived off into something else, like, I don't know, if a top-down strategy game came out of Fortnite, how many people would genuinely go, yeah?
Gears did it.
Gears did it, yeah.
Gears went to Gears Tactics after.
But Gears is nowhere near at the level of like the likes of Fortnite and
okay, that's fair.
Minecraft, you know what I mean?
I think maybe the beta made me think there will be more, like I say, whereas what this game feels like is any other game, Diablo or anything like that, this would just be Act 1 of that. And I feel like it's cruised because it's called Minecraft and doesn't sit right with me a little bit. But there you go. Minecraft Dungeons out now on Game Pass. I would be curious to see how it runs on Switch. I think for us, we did request Switch code because obviously people know we like to do the Switch report. It never materialised. I think probably the ship has sailed on that because, not being funny, like most Game Pass games, it's come in and it's gone out the other way. It's come in one door, gone out the other, and people have forgotten about it. By the time probably this podcast goes live, people will have probably forgotten about Minecraft Dungeons.
Can I just, before we move on from that actual topic there, why do you think that is? Because when you said this recently about people taking a game, barely playing it, and not finishing it, whatever, right, on the likes of Game Pass, when I recently have been discovering Game Pass, there's a lot of games, but there isn't a whole pile of games that would make you go, downloaded this, I've also downloaded that. Like, you wouldn't download like 10 to 15 games straight off the bat and then play one and go, I got a feeling of this one. What's this one like? I don't think Game Pass has that much content for you to do it. So why are people... Is it because they're playing something completely different outside its Game Pass world? Or are they just used to playing their online game and they're just go back to that? And
I genuinely think it's because people don't finish them. Like, I genuinely think people don't finish these games, so they download them because why wouldn't they? Because they're free. Free. You are paying a subscription, but so many people got in on the kind of cheap sub thing that like I say, people download them. Go, oh, this is a good game. But I'm going to go back to FIFA or Modern Warfare or whatever I was playing. I mean, like Chris, Game Pass. What would you say is the standout Game Pass game, for example?
Gears 5.
Yeah. Yep.
I've got the service.
Minecraft.
I've had the service for a while now, and I've used it sporadically. But Gears 5 was the one that I actually finished. I genuinely don't think I've finished anything else off the top of my head that I've downloaded and played through the whole thing, other than Gears 5.
Well,
would you not think though? It's like when you compare, because it is basically like Netflix, isn't it? It's the game version of Netflix. Yeah. How many times do you finish an entire series? If you're trying something out that's new, do you?
Well, I mean,
watch
I haven't
just like the first episode and go, that's not for me. Move on.
I still haven't finished season 2 of Final Space.
Well, to be fair, I watched a few episodes and no,
it wasn't as good as the first one. I don't think.
It's not that funny. And
no, and it felt massively disjointed and actually disconnected from that first series. I couldn't remember a lot of what was going on. Like it is.
I believe there was some issues, like the studio kind of took over this one.
Right.
So I think there's a third series coming, but is it Oban something? The main guy who makes it apparently has kind of got control back.
Okay.
So perhaps it'll get back on track.
Well,
But
I mean, I will say Game Pass, I downloaded Astroneer. Okay, it ties in quite nicely because I was going to talk about this week anyway. And it's a Minecrafty style crafting, wonder game, well, a Potter game. Now, Chris, I want to say you covered the Xbox version ages ago.
Oh god, yeah. I covered a preview of it. I think it was it Xbox or was it PC? I covered it on. I definitely covered
it was Game. What was it called? Not Game Pass, like a preview. Whatever the Xbox preview program, is it something like that? They're early access thing, game preview.
Yeah, you're right. No, sorry, yeah. Long time ago. So obviously they've added a lot since, and Nick reviewed it, didn't she?
That's right. I've been playing on PC, but I went to Xbox for this because I was feeling poorly, and I just wanted a game to just something to take my mind off how shit I was feeling. Yeah. And I spent almost all day on it because
it looks really nice.
So it actually runs a lot better now. I did try it on Xbox, Chris, when you played it, and I really want to play co-op with someone because it's got full co-op support, and it's totally my bag. It's got.
Oh, it's cool.
I will say they've done their best with the controls. I don't have an alternative. I don't have a better solution. It's definitely better played with mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy it. Like I just built all my stuff, and I went off, and I got to the stage. I was like, right, I'm ready. I need to. I was so ill. I ended up going to sleep. I was like, I'm going to stop now because do you know when you want to take your mind off something, but then eventually it stops working?
Yeah,
that's what happened. It stopped working, and I could feel the headache on, and I was like, I need to sleep. But I left it at a point where it's like, okay, I'm ready for my next mission, which is going to be building this and doing this, and eventually getting off this planet to another planet. And I would love to play it with some of you guys on the site, but it is a crafting game, an exploration game. But I absolutely adored it, and I adored it when I played it in PC early access, and they have delivered on. It's still
the thing is like it is a crafting game, yeah, but the thing that makes it so exciting is the environments, and it's fun just to go exploring. Like there's a lot there. There might not be a lot of crashed spaceships to investigate and mysteries.
There is a lot now. Like there are. I don't know if they were in the build when you played it, because again the game has come a long way. But when you go into caves and stuff, there are like these weird triangular things with logos on that. For example, some of them you must put a certain resource in based on the logo on the front to open it up. Some are like you need to power this. There are teleporters hidden in the grounds. There's debris everywhere. That's what I mean. They really have. This is, although it's third person, this is what I wanted No Man's Sky to be. Yeah. Because you can get back on a ship, and you have to craft the right equipment, and like if you don't take any spare equipment with you and you use your spaceship twice, you're shafted. You're stuck on that planet until you can find the equipment because you need to power your ship. It feels true It feels truly explorative, and I
think that's what kind of stopped this from being huge, wasn't it? Really, because it came out around the same time as No Man's Sky, and I think
it was for years. It was being made in the public eye.
It just got kind of swallowed up, I think, by No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
I suppose this ties into the Game Pass thing again, though.
Yeah.
Because it's like this. You say you'd love to play it with the team.
Yeah.
We can.
Yeah, we can.
It's on Game Pass.
I just had this because nowadays we're at this point in game development where you go, hang on, can I play with people on other platforms? And I checked, and it is also on Game Pass for PC, I believe, and it's got cross-play with Windows. So
nice.
In theory, I could sit right where I'm sat now and play it on PC while someone's. And I'm trying to get my kids to play it because again, they like Minecraft a lot, and it's definitely influenced by it, but it's more. If that makes sense, like it's more.
Yeah.
I love it, and I love the art style. That's the thing that captured me initially. Seeing it played, I was like, I love this. Now, Chris, again, I'm pretty sure this wasn't in the version you played. There's a tutorial now. Like on the main menu, there is a tutorial, and it's like, oh wow, it really would. Like, like I say, the only thing I would say is it is complicated in terms of controlling the game. But I don't know a better way of doing it because this is a game you need to be able to click things, drag them. So you hold down the left trigger and it kind of gives you a cursor. You can then move with the right stick. So you can still actually move with the left stick while you're doing this. Like I only found out after playing it, Googling it literally. So one thing that's annoying me, it felt like a really strange thing that had been missed is that when you pick something up, using the cursor, you then have to like use the right stick to pull it towards you, hover it over yourself, and it can be quite finicky about that. Yeah. You just press Y. If you've selected something with the right trigger, you just press Y apparently, and it just instantly goes in your backpack. didn't tell me that in the tutorial, but that is like, I'm looking forward to playing again, because it's like, oh, that's going to make things so much quicker.
Yeah.
But just the idea of finding like what did I find? I finally found some resources that I could smelt down into no, I think it was aluminium. No, it might have been zinc. I think it was to smite down to zinc, and it's like, I'm so excited now to be able to build new things with my zinc. And it's also quite it's got a good sense of feel to it. Like, you have to power things, and that is a case of going up to your station and literally physically clicking on the power cable, dragging it and putting it into the thing you want to power, and then you can get... They thought of everything. Like, there's so much to this game, and I'm really, really, really enjoying it, and I'm going to play more of it, definitely. I might download the PC version because it does run smoother. But before we move away from stuff I'm playing, I want to mention Xenoblade Chronicles again, because I want to talk to you, Adam, essentially, on this one. I think I'm done.
Is it too long?
Probably.
Yeah.
I need to talk to someone about who's played a game, and you've played this game, the combat. Okay.
Okay.
I
Is the automatic situation
kind
throwing
of
you off?
So let me describe how I think it's supposed to work, and you tell me
Okay.
if that's right, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So you've got a party of 3. At the moment, I've got obviously Shulk, the main character, Ryan, and I've got Sharla, the healer.
Yeah.
Okay. So the way I see it, Ryan is supposed to constantly... Oh, sorry, I better not do that. I was doing that. Ryan is aggro, constantly aggroing the enemy, so that Shulk can go behind them or to the side to use his attacks that do extra damage from the side or the back. Sharla is over there, shooting you both with guns that heal you, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't feel like it works.
Do you feel... Is it because you think that, like, when the battle starts, do you feel like everyone's just going in and just fucking causing havoc, and you're you're trying to figure out if your team are working together well, and
because someone commented on the video preview, and I actually don't, we don't normally reply to stuff where they're having a go, because it's like, they weren't being trolly, to be fair. But, the saying, don't feed the trolls. And they were like, oh, this guy, and it was me playing, has managed to constantly use his side and back attacks when he's in front of him. It's like, I know, and I knew putting that in the video was like, someone's going to spot this and think he's shit. But I try and get round the side or round the back to do those attacks, and the enemy seems like it's constantly following me round on the...
Yeah, see, if I can remember correctly, could be confusing myself here with another game, like another JRPG, but can you, in the battle settings, like, set, like, the aggro
so.
to people and stuff? Do you know?
But that seems to be Ryan's thing. Ryan's thing is aggro, and he just doesn't seem to do it. Like, there is even a skill Shulk's got that I think de-aggroes you, and I'm using it all, but I'm basically using all the skills. And I think what it boils down to for me is that I never, ever feel like I'm in control of any battle situation. And it did improve once I got Sharla. And I know that, like, this is like 6 hours into the game and it's 120 hours, and people will be like, oh man, but like 6 hours is a significant portion of time to dedicate to something, and I feel like I've missed something. Like, why am I not in control of any of these fights? Like, to compare it, and this may be the issue. The issue is that the last one like this I finished was Final Fantasy VII Remake, and in that game I felt completely in control of the combat.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's just amazing combat.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot going on, and you could walk into a room with someone playing 7 Remake and be like, what the hell? But I could tell you,
true.
I'm in control of that, 100%. This, I never feel like I'm in control of the combat. Never. It feels like it's happening, and I'm just hitting things and doing moves. But like,
yeah, I can see what you mean. There was definitely occasions when I played the game that, like, you'd say go around the back, and you'd be like, I'm going to use this attack now in the back because this is where I'm supposed to use it, and you just use it, and the enemy will just turn around at the last second.
And you're already doing it, and it's like, oh well.
Yeah, so like...
Gotta wait for that to cool down before I can use it again.
This could probably argue people in some way, but like, the way I kind of see the combat is it's not designed as tight as this, but do you know when you play Monster Hunter World, and like you're all in on each other, you're all in this like particular enemy, and say you're kind of almost waiting for your attack, you're waiting for your plan of attack, and you kind of go, oh, there, and you run in, you'll jump on the back or something like that. That's kind of how I ended up treating Xenoblade.
So I tried that.
In a way, I'd stand back and I'd see.
Yep, no,
I'd
I tried that.
Not flowing for you.
They followed me.
Yeah.
But also, on top of that, man, just general enemies that are similar level to you can wipe you. Like,
Dude.
Too easy.
Like,
too easy.
the wiping, like, is sometimes it's so heartbreaking. Like, because there's situations where you go, all right, I'm not going to win this fight, and you'll try and run away, and you're like running for so long, and you could be at such a distance from the enemy, and then you're just like, they still hit you.
Yep.
It's like just.
And there's also like so I think at this point I was level 15, and there was just a level 87 monster wandering around. I'm like, oh shit. I get it. The story's good, but I think something Mikhail said to me. I think he said it in our Discord actually. This isn't really a JRPG. It's kind of more of an MMO. And when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, because all the skills are on cooldowns. Yeah, and I don't get on with that kind of combat. But it's like I'm not here to shit on the game. I don't want to, it is a good game, and the story actually really does intrigue me. But there's just no way. There's no way. I knew 120 hours into this.
That's the thing. When you said you started, I was like, you're not going to finish this game, just because it is too long for someone like yourself who just won't has so many other games to be playing.
I don't play Switch handheld much because all my Joy-Cons have drift. So that is just even my wife was playing Animal Crossing and like the drift was even pissing her off. So I'm going to have to get that fixed once this shit's all over with lockdown and all that.
I will say though, like from what I've seen, the visual overhaul is really good.
Oh, it's good. It's really good looking. It's way better looking than 2 for me.
Like,
anyway,
Shulk isn't basically just like this kind of weird, dreamy blur. So like, there's a bit of that, and it just looks nicer. And I think like they definitely changed like the subtitle text to be. I think it might be a bit bigger and stuff. And I think all the menu itself, the battle menu, is a lot clearer and more not simplified, but it's just more. You know what you're kind of doing.
I like the systems. I do. Like when you go into the menus, I like the systems. Like there's that skill tree, and there's like a skill tree where you can learn your party's trees skills as well.
Yeah,
It's quite complex but simple at the same time. I really like all that, and I like a lot of the quality of life stuff I can tell they've added. Like you complete a mission, like a side quest, it's just done. You haven't got to go back to the quest giver and hand it in. It's just done, and you get the XP or the gold straight away. That's great. I love that stuff, and I think I totally can read Mikhail's review. I mean, I did literally read it for the video, but see why he loves it so much.
It
and
made
why
me want to
love
play it
so
again.
Like, I get it.
I definitely want to get there eventually.
No, I totally get it, but I think for me, I think in terms of RPGs, that's not for me.
I swear that
one.
Mikhail though has got a time machine. The amount of hours he puts into these games, and I'm just like, where are you getting this time?
When he previewed it, he had already played 60 hours, I believe. But to be fair, we got this game mega early, and I will always say thank you, hands up, appreciate that. That helps so much. It helps so much when you get a game early enough to be able to do stuff with it.
I wish you'd see the story. I wish you could have seen the story through, if I'm honest, because it's actually a really good story, I think.
And that's what grabbed me at the start, actually. The story is what pulled me in, because it's like, this is that same combat as 2, and I hated 2, but then the story's like, oh, I actually quite like this.
Yeah.
But that's, aside from a bit of FIFA and the game we can't talk about yet, I have played now. Well, I mean, I don't have much time for much else. Christopher White.
Yes.
You have been playing a game I want to play because it was a few weeks ago they announced this, Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, which was DLC, and we all thought, oh yeah, well that's some new fighting characters, whatever. Weeks. Oh, hang on, there's a new story. Oh, hang on, the story takes place right after the story finishes the main game.
Yeah.
You've played through that story now, and
I have,
with RoboCop as well. Is he in the story, or is that just a character?
Nah.
That would have been
that would be fucking cool. Well, the fact that they're basically, the story utilizes all the DLC characters apart from like Terminator,
the guest ones. Apart from the guest
RoboCop.
ones.
Right.
Oh man, if there was like a little scene with them, that would have been amazing.
That would have been, and it wouldn't have felt mental. Sorry, ads.
No, because it wouldn't, because it's a mental game. Yeah.
Just to quickly say there, is this the follow-up or the add-on to what was a story that everyone loved?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
No.
yeah, okay. This
Well,
is the more like people were very kind of like the story is actually great in the new
I
Mortal
mean,
Kombat.
NetherRealm do great stories, like the Injustice games,
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
Sure, I
MK9,
played
10,
it.
11.
They basically
great.
created, I think, the story mode that is in fighting games now.
Yep.
Like
They've
Mortal
set the
Kombat
bar.
9 was
Yep.
that was perfect.
They set the
Yeah,
bar.
yeah.
Street Fighter 5 tried to copy, didn't get there.
That's it. I mean, the Dead or Alive game started it, and it's like it's fun, but they're never the same quality.
The only thing that worried me, and this is where Chris can assuage or confirm, is that the end of MK11 ended in a way, and I believe I said this on the podcast, and I think, Chris, you did too, where they could now do anything they wanted.
Yeah.
It ends literally on a reset, literally a reset.
I think they have. They took in RoboCop.
No, but this is the thing, right? The thing is, people. What I meant by that is that they could either never make another Mortal Kombat game, or they could make another one that is just mental. So the fact this DLC literally, like the end of the game is there, this DLC straight after it, literally the continuation, like the same cutscene. Just did they deliver it?
Yes and no. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I love the story. It's around 3 hours, so about
That's
half
all right.
of the
That's all right.
half of the original game. So with the base game story, it covered so much ground. Like there was 12 chapters. Each chapter followed one or two specific fighters in this huge interweaving story across all the different realms. And it did a great job of telling her, like, it made sense. It was a bit crazy, but it made sense. And it included everyone's favourite characters. It included fan service. The animations of like the cinematics are phenomenal. The actual fight and how that interweaves as well when you're playing worked, just like it did in Injustice 2. And when it ends, you're left with, as you say, an opportunity to go in whatever direction you want. If they'd have waited for 2, 3, 4 years time and made another one, I feel they could have just stepped away from the ending and made something completely different, potentially better. Who knows? But what they've done is they've literally just added 5 chapters on. So they tagged on 5 chapters at the end of the story. So yes, it continues the story that you were told, but it's not. That does not say it's bad. So essentially, what's happened is, and I can't really say without spoiling it, but I'm going to have to.
I was wondering. I mean,
the thing is, right? Basically, what happens without what happens in the actual story is that time. Liu Kang has been given the opportunity to rewrite history.
he's now the king of time, where he took over from Chronicles.
Yeah,
basically, 'cause he killed it.
yeah.
I've just ruined the end of MK11, by the way. Sorry.
But
Sorry,
what they didn't do, they're unable to do that because they destroyed Chronicles,
that's
the
right,
main
yeah.
villains of MK11, her crown that she wore.
They showed that in the trailer. You're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, in walks iconic sorcerer and shapeshifter Shang Tsung.
Who had been dead?
He'd been trapped in the void.
Trapped,
Yes,
okay.
so essentially
The void.
yeah. So he's back.
Nobody's
with,
ever dead in Mortal Kombat.
No, they're
We've
not.
seen-
No,
We've
no,
seen
no,
this.
no.
So he's back.
True.
He walks in
Very
with Fujin, who is Raiden's brother,
Yep.
one of the protectors of the Elder Gods, like Raiden.
Yep.
Who could use wind to his advantage.
That's right. That looks so cool. He
Armin.
looks so cool, by the way.
He is really good.
Okay, good.
And Nightwolf, who previously released DLC character, but that's what this is. It's about
And
the previously
you
released
forgot one.
DLC
You forgot one.
characters.
Shiva.
Oh
Right?
yeah, but what I was saying in terms of the story, they walk in to Liu Kang
Oh, okay.
and Raiden.
Oh, right. Sorry.
And
Yeah.
Shang Tsung's saying, right, I can help find you the crown, rewrite history to your own in your own vision.
And
start
even in the
a new
trailer,
era.
I'm thinking, don't listen to Shang Tsung.
Wow, there you go. I mean,
He's gonna double
brilliant.
cross you.
He's absolutely brilliant.
It's the original voice actor, isn't it?
He's
as well?
original voice actor, yeah.
That's cool.
He's always been one of the best villains. But
He's
in terms
amazing
of
in the film, so it's
Yeah,
like you have
well,
to
that's
get
it.
him in
Yeah.
for it.
You've got as I mean, we'll get into Shiva. So Shiva's back, and she's fantastic actually as a fighter. I'm not normally a fan of like the bigger fighters,
Goro
the clunkier
and
ones,
Minotaur
and
all
Shao Kahn and stuff, because
Mm.
I just can't get on with the combos. That, especially when you're going up against faster fighters, it's just you have to be very accurate with your maneuvers, and like Shao Kahn is in this, and in terms of the story, like he's come back as a proper like badass. Like he wasn't really utilized in MK11 properly, but in this he's like back on top. But Shiva, she's really good. She's a lot of decent combos, and they do flow quite well. So she's great to control. But as you say, Fusion he looks amazing, but he is amazing. He's got a lot of combos in terms of using the wind, and
he looks
stuff
complicated, but like
he is quite complicated. And the thing with the story mode is that you like it's interesting capturing, because you get about 5 or 6 fights per chapter, like normal,
like the main game,
yeah, and all these characters, if you haven't played the DLC, and obviously you won't have played with Fujin or Shiva, your first fight, you're clicking start, you're checking the moves list, and you want to make sure, like I'm trying to make sure that I know what I'm doing in these
videos. The footage
videos.
doesn't look absolute garbage of you like just punching air.
So,
I know exactly
I
basically
first fight, I checked the main like special moves.
Well, it's the combos I always want to know, because
I
can get away with a Hadoken or a back forward, because they'll all have a combination of the fighting game tropes, but it's the combos that look badass. Like
that's it. Yeah. And like in the videos, there's a scene with Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and they bump into Fujin, and that was where I was like, I'd found my pacing with it. But it takes a few times, especially if you've not played with these before, which you won't have done.
You won't have, no.
And even with like Nightwolf and that, they're quite tricky. But they are like, I think all the DLC characters have been really good. However, I'm not a huge fan of RoboCop.
Right. His moves list looks amazing though. Like there's moves called Uphold the Law and
like the moves list. The moves are cool, but a lot of them are literally shoot your pistol,
shoot your gun,
shoot a rifle, get your riot shield out.
Ed 209.
Well, that's it. The fatal blow is incredible with RoboCop.
Terrified me as a kid, Ed 209.
Yeah,
that scene on the stairs still.
Yeah. Like... So he's all right, but he's not the best. But the story's great. It's more of the same. It doesn't do anything different. Big plus, Ronda Rousey's not in it.
At all.
Which is great. No. I thought, didn't she not die in this? I know, die.
I mean, I've spoiled enough, mate.
Dropping spoilers left, right, and centre in this game.
she did actually, quite early on.
Wishful thinking.
No, it's like in the first or second act of the game.
But standouts, Shang Tsung, Sindel's really good in it, and Fujin. Another thing added with the story mode is the friendships are back. So, so some of these friendships are just fucking stupid. But
they always were, mate. To be fair.
I'm not in a bad way. But like, obviously, fatalities are the most brutal, savage ways to kill someone. These go the exact opposite, and they're just the funniest, stupidest, like ways to celebrate after your match. Like the first one I did was RoboCop's, and like if you haven't seen it,
what's his? Oh no, is it 209 related?
No. He basically gets his 80s cassette stereo out and just starts dancing with a gold chain on. It's fucking crazy.
As you do.
Yeah, but it's called Block Party. So that's essentially what he's doing. He's dancing. But so they're back. So they're cool. There's some new stages, some new environmental like stage fatalities where you can like, you could get something from the ground and smack them with it. There's a load more of that. So it's good. And I'd never like to talk about the price because I don't think that should be relevant.
No, it is relevant.
But it is for this because this isn't a game. This isn't a full game. This is an expansion.
You can buy what is it called? Like
it's called the Aftermath Collection.
Yeah, and that's like a full price game.
And
that's with everything. And that's great value, I think.
Well, that is because that's like 60.
Yeah, that's full price game, but that is every character,
all the DLC.
Yeah, everything, and that is great value. But if you already have the game,
40. So you pay first time buyers are screwed a bit because you paid 40 for the original. Now you're paying 40 for Aftermath. So it is hefty. So it depends how much you play Mortal Kombat. Like if
what, Gaz? What was that?
I'm not that surprised because I mean, like the fighter passes were always like 30 odd quid, and it's like for me, I'm like that's a lot for just a
fighting
few
game
fighters.
fans get absolutely savage like this. Like Street Fighter 5 has announced like a season 5, which I think is the most any fighting game's ever done. Like,
but is yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing though, because aren't like a fighter pack in a fighting game? That's really the main thing, isn't it? Like,
yeah, but what if you don't like? What if you don't like any of those fighters? What if you don't like Chris? Like, you know, RoboCop's like, oh, RoboCop, and he's like, I don't want to play as RoboCop.
Yeah,
I'll play
it's like
to show him off.
Like with Injustice 2. Like I love the Turtles.
Yeah,
but I really didn't like Hellboy, and I love Hellboy. He again was too clunky for me. He reminded me of RoboCop in the same kind of style. So I was disappointed. As much as I love him in the game, he doesn't control as well. But again, other people might prefer him because that's their style. It all depends on what your style is.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of content, it's the story alone is excellent. It doesn't warrant the price.
But you aren't going to replay that story over and over again.
No,
and
I'm
I
not.
appreciate the story takes money. You know, they voice actors, motion capture. It's all had to go in.
Oh, absolutely.
To that, but without being horrible to the people
I haven't
making the
like
game.
you don't want that. Yeah, exactly. You want a bit of
Well, not
background
us,
to
but you
the
know what I mean.
to the characters in Mortal Kombat, but you're not going to go and replay the story. You're going to go and play online, or you're going to go and play the classic towers and whatnot.
Yeah, even the crypt, just to go and have a wander around
Crypt,
there. But,
yeah, and they've added loads of new cosmetics and skins and stuff. It's I enjoyed it, but I didn't have to pay £40 for it.
No, and that's so. It's like when we say things like, "Oh, price shouldn't matter," like we were talking about Minecraft. It shouldn't matter when it isn't an issue, I think. But when it's, again, I've always said this. It's really important for someone who's critiquing a game to remember they didn't pay for it, and that's a question I always think you ask yourself: is would I be happy paying this for what I've got? It doesn't it doesn't change whether it's a good game or not, but it does factor into you writing a sentence in the review or something saying, just know that this is a good story and it's fun, but it is expensive. So it's how much you want more story and how much you think, because there will be YouTube tutorials on all those characters, and you can go and look at them and go, I'll play as Nightwolf, or Robocop. You know, that will be an option. So I don't know.
I'll tell you, the best thing about it is the fact that I've managed to play as the Terminator fighting Robocop.
That's what everyone sees. As soon as this was announced, like RoboCop, everyone's like, I want to do RoboCop versus Terminator. It has to happen.
Man, it's so good.
Am I the only one that's like just doesn't give a shit about that? Like, I just couldn't give a shit.
It's amazing. Like, I'd love like there to be some world where later on in life that they incorporate all the DLC from Injustice, from Mortal Kombat 10.
That's never
from
happened.
this. No, I know.
Mean, isn't Joker in MK11? Yeah, like even that,
which was a weird choice.
Yeah, because like
I don't
it's
care.
not Joker.
I
Which
think
Joker
that's
is it? It's in the film. No, because that was the.
No, it was more like a comic book version.
Yeah,
wasn't
it's more similar to Injustice than the comics.
But it isn't the Joker from Injustice either, is it?
No.
But we've already had him recently. But it's fine. There was rumours about Ash from the Evil Dead.
Did he not make it into the game?
No.
Wow.
That's still knocking about. Like,
Yeah, I remember that being.
Wasn't
could
that
still happen
confirmed?
later.
I thought Bruce himself
It was-
kind of
it was,
essentially said, "Oh,
Because
it was all but confirmed officially.
wow."
he was kind of like he was making a hames of that
He
situation.
was, yeah. Because he could have just said, "I've no idea what you're talking about."
Because he was saying, like, he was hinting towards it,
Yeah,
and
he
then all
really
these
was.
rumors circulated, and then he full blown came out and said, "I'd like to announce that I am not part of the next Mortal Kombat like DLC," and then it came out again that he was, and then he was like, "Oh look," and it was like a sneak peek of like what seemed like a kind of an animated drawing of him going around, and then it was like some new book. A reissue of his book, his biography or something was coming out in like comic form or something like that. And I was like, what are you doing here to Mortal Kombat fans? Like, I love you, Bruce, but you need to just stay quiet on the Mortal Kombat situation.
Yeah.
Chris,
You'd be banging in it.
So, obviously, the time we're speaking, review isn't up. You are recommending it by the sounds of it. Just
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like,
caveat of it isn't
I
cheap.
loved it. And the thing is, if you've never played Mortal Kombat before and you've always fancied it, then get the Aftermath collection because it's a mega
Oh, that's
book
a great,
of
great
content.
value.
and it is the best fighting game out now. Like Mortal Kombat 11 is,
probably
is incredible. Like
certainly if you're not
about
willing to go into the sort of Axis world and go to BlazBlues and all that.
Yeah, but I think like Injustice 2 is equally fantastic. But I think the amount of content and stuff you get within the game, not just with the story, but like the crypt, the online, the classic towers. There's loads of those. Not just you can go online and complete challenges.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Earn new stuff. There's a lot of ways to get cosmetics if that's what you're into. But there's tons of opportunities to fight vast levels within the game, difficulty levels. You can go online if you're up for that. But even if you don't like going online like me, because I'm just worried I'm going to get my fucking ass handed to me, there's loads of content for me to play online, in game. Sorry. So I definitely recommend that. Okay. If I wouldn't necessarily say I'd recommend buying Aftermath yet, but because you know if you're already getting the DLC characters as part of the fighter pack. I don't know how it works. I don't know whether
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think this is one of those situations where that fighter pack is finished, and if you want these, you've got to buy these separately, like Street Fighter.
That's how Ash could come into it later. They could release a special
I still
for
wonder.
Halloween. For Halloween, release Ash and a few others. We'll see.
Okay, Gaz, what have you been up to this week?
Not much, to be honest. I think what I've played more than anything really has been I've been going back to F1.
Fair play.
Started actually playing it online a bit. So I played it a little bit online for
which one
when I reviewed it. 2019, sorry. Yeah,
is that not jarring after previewing 2020 to?
No, because I mean I'd already played enough of it that I knew that going back, it's slight changes, you know. So it's not like I'm going from Gran Turismo Sport going back to playing the original or something like that. You know, okay, that's a bit excessive, but it's just I've gone back because I think because I've been watching the esports, you know, they've been doing like the virtual GP stuff. It's made me want to go back and try the online, and for the most part, it's pretty good. Like I say, I played it a little bit for review, and that's about it. I never went back to the online after that because I was just like, I'm not really that good, or at least compared to the majority of the people when you play them online. But I've been getting a few wins.
Fair enough.
I've seen a bit of the worst side when, like, there was one guy when I was playing it yesterday who, when I tried to overtake, he just shunted me off the track. And it's like, why are you playing this game if you're playing it like that? It's not Mario Kart or it's not Burnout or something, you know, it's not that kind of thing.
Oh, but if it was though, Gaz. But what if it was?
But other than that, like, I've had some really good races and I've had a lot of fun with it. So I think it's a good game for me. Is like, you know, when you've not got a lot of time because you've got a load of other stuff on or whatever. It's the sort of thing I can go in and have a race, have a couple of short races, something like that.
Speaking of racing, then, if you've not been playing much, I do have a question for you. Did you see the GT leaks, or did you see this Gran Turismo stuff?
No.
So, a racing company, I think it was either a racing wheel or something to do with racing, but not like making games.
Okay.
Essentially put out like an Instagram post where it's like, and we will be supporting, and then there was a picture, I think it was Project Cars, a game I couldn't remember, and then Gran Turismo 7. And it's like, no, was it 7? Would it be 8?
Yeah, it would be 7 if...
Yeah, and people were like, sorry, you're supporting what now? Gran Turismo 7. And it was basically, let me see if I can find it quickly. Gran Turismo 7 Instagram, I'm going to type in, this is live.
I wonder if it was meant to be sport, but it's like they've just gone because
I don't know. So here you go. It's Next Level Racing. Okay, it's now been deleted. Next Level Racing asked their racing game, which the audience was looking forward to the most in 2020, with 4 racing game logos. These are logos, by the way, laid out in the centre. AMS2. What's that?
AMS2. Automobilista. So I think it's called.
Yep. F1 2020. These are all legit logos. Dirt 5, because it just after that had been announced, and GT7 with a logo and everything that looks proper legit, and they've now deleted it. I can't find the follow-up where they basically posted up a follow-up saying like, sorry, we don't know anything about GT7, we don't know what you're talking about, sorry about that, it was a mistake.
Backpedal.
But it's I'm just trying to find the other. They did post a follow-up, but I can't find the follow-up. and the adverts on this website aren't helping. Not our website.
Can I just ask, guys, kind of slightly off topic a bit, but it's kind of to do with Gran Turismo anyway. But when it comes to racing games, is there any benefit to like remasters of racing games? Like, because I
Grid
think
did it, didn't they? Grid did it.
Yeah,
Like-
well, you
like
saw
if they-
it was like a reboot, I guess.
if they remastered like full overhaul now, like on Gran Turismo 1 and 2, would there be a lot of people go amazing, like the way we all are about Tony Hawk? Yeah, like
I don't think so, because I mean, unless
like
they.
I want Colin McRae Rally. I want the first Colin McRae Rally done, because I played a lot
Are
of
you
that.
talking about the way they did like the Crash Bandicoot games, where they remade the exact same game with modern graphics, or are you talking about a remaster?
Well, see, I'm going with how they did Crash, but then at the same time, I don't know if that worked because of maybe the controls
I
to
think-
driving fans wouldn't be as good
Yeah,
anymore.
to be honest, I think with driving games, I suppose it'd be the same as like sports games. Like if you did a remaster of
Yeah, no, it wouldn't.
FIFA
FIFA
96.
97 or something. Yeah,
It wouldn't
like,
really
Go, 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 go,
yeah,
go, go,
it's
go.
like you might as well make a new game. You
Love
might as well
that.
make a new game because it's like you're gonna need more modern cars, or you're gonna
The
be using
controls
tracks
wouldn't
that are
work
already used.
because the original controller was a D-pad only, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I remember playing.
Triggers wouldn't have been analog.
I played the original Gran Turismo not that long ago.
Oh, wow, I
It was
bet
just one of
that's
those things.
aged.
It's like, oh, cool, let's have a look at it. And it's like, I
Those
can't
driving
play
tests.
this.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. It's like I can't play this because like with the D, it just doesn't work without without a sort of analog, even like analog like acceleration and braking.
Triggers, yeah.
Very difficult, and that's where the Switch, I suppose, is worst in terms of like racing. Well, realistic racing games, anyway.
Yeah.
Like I know some of them have managed to do it. Like Grid Autosport did it quite well. TT game, aside from the awful graphics and the terrible frame,
Yeah,
well,
I
the
really
frame rate
did not.
issues anyway.
I was not prepared for
Mhm.
what. Obviously, I read the review out for the voiceover. I just was left thinking, well, it can't be that bad.
Mhm.
As I was watching it, so I
it
watched
is,
it
isn't
because Mick actually edited the video for that, and I just did the voiceover. And when I watched it, I was like, "Is my internet playing up?" And this has gone all funny, like when a video drops its resolution, so you can still watch it, but it looks.
It's
and
just
like,
it
no.
looks like a PS2 game at times.
It's real bad.
It's not good. But the sort of the point is like the handling of that did work, So it's like it can be done. It's why I'm certain at some point Codemasters are gonna do F1 for the Switch.
Yeah.
You've got the mobile game; they could easily port that across.
It would make
But
sense. Make
Whether
money.
that's ever happening, I don't know, but it would be cool.
Okay.
But yeah, remasters of that kind of thing wouldn't work because you might as well just make a new game.
What about Porsche Challenge? Remember that game?
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember having
Yeah.
a demo of that. I think
The
like,
demo of that, yeah.
very
the,
early in the PlayStation.
The roads in Porsche Challenge
Live.
were extremely wide. Like they were.
You can have your Porsche Challenge remaster if I get Test Drive Unlimited 3.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Okay, fine. Has anyone else got any other games they want to talk about this week before we move on to listener correspondence?
I would like to quickly mention just something with Assassin's Creed Origins. I have finished the game after 55 hours. I got the platinum. That was my goal. I really wanted to do it, and I was like I was enjoying everything that I was doing so far. I was like, this is just such a great game. And then I was like, oh yeah, what's the last trophy? And it was a trophy called Old Habits, which basically, wowzers, I should have really have read this because it probably would have changed my mind, but I came so far into it, I was like, I can't give up. Now, Old Habits is a trophy where you have to basically clear the map. You have to do every fortress, loot every treasure, find every animal as such, and kill it.
Oh, mate.
You have to go to every question
play.
mark.
You did this.
Yeah. So I was
You're right.
I'm actually, yeah. Do you know what, right? It's a testament to the game itself in its overall world.
But you did
I
this in
think.
55 hours, or did you do this after?
55 hours in total, the whole game.
That's not bad.
It doesn't
actually.
sound see
No.
when you do you know when some games like the world map, you open it up, and you kind of go, oh, look at the fucking distance from here to here. But then you actually do it in the game, and it's like, oh, it actually wasn't that far. But world maps make things look way more daunting than they actually are. Like this actual quest or trophy was it was daunting. And at one stage, right, I was like, here we go, this is the final thing I have to do, the nail in the coffin is here to get that pling, and I was like, this is going to be brilliant now. Did my thing, and I was like, no, and I was sitting there like this going, where's my ping? Where's my ping gone? And I was like, what's happening? What is actually happening? What have I done? What have I done wrong? Have I done so? So I was looking over like things online, just to see if I like. Do you know, sometimes it's like, don't do this, but do this.
Out the whole game.
Do you know something that I was like, what the fuck is after happening here? Now, the one thing that this game does on its world map, which is very annoying, is right, if you zoom fully out, and some games do this and I don't know why, but if you fully zoom out of the map, do you know the way the icons on the map all of a sudden just disappear?
Yeah.
Which is just the most infuriating goddamn thing. So I had to zoom in, and when you zoom into a certain level, it'll then pop up the icons, right? So it's like, okay, cool. I had to go through the entire map at such a pace, and then eventually I found that last little question mark tucked away in the corner, and I went up, and it was just to loot some treasure, and then the ping happened, and I was like, there we go, delighted. So I did that, and I was like, I'm still not done. I'm still not done with this game. I still want to play more. So I bought the season pass, and I jumped into the first DLC and finished that as well, which is the Hidden Ones DLC, which is brilliant. It is actually brilliant. It's set 4 years after the Origins events, and what's really cool about it is it's a whole new area, and it does say to you, like, before you set off, that you should be like recommended level 40, which is kind of the level cap in the base game, and I think with the DLCs you can go up to 55. So you have to be level 40, head off in, and like it's about, like, they put in loads of side quests and loot and stuff to get, and I think overall it's about a 6 hour of content in the Hidden Ones, but like the story itself is about maybe two and a half hours, I'd say. And the story is, it's basically about Bayek and the origins of the Brotherhood, which is like really interesting. Like that's the kind of stuff I'm really keen on knowing, because this is where you finally become the assassin, which kind of seems weird considering I put like 60 hours or something into the actual game itself. But you know what I mean is, like, when you get there, there's the Hidden Ones are the assassins, they are the Brotherhood. So like you got this like crew like developing in like these hidden environments around this like area, and Bayek is coming in because 2 of the Hidden Ones, the assassins, have been killed, and Bayek has to find out who has done this. So it's kind of like now really becoming like, it's showing you those Assassin's Creed elements that people say kind of like, why is it called Assassin's Creed anymore? You're not really assassin. But like it's kind of in it in this DLC, because you're not doing like so many errands and stuff like that and fetch quests and all that. You're just going straight out to find somebody and kill them, and like it's banging in that sense, because there's the fortresses around this DLC. There's one in particular called the Walls of the Ruler, which is just unreal. It's so well designed, because when you use the bird to scope out the areas, this particular fortress is like, I'd say there's a good solid 30, maybe 40 enemies roaming around, and they're all like level 35 to 40. And it's a huge castle. And at this stage you're kind of going, this is going to be a hard one now. You should go in and kill the commander and kill the captains and all that kind of stuff. But like the equipment that you have up to this point is so unreal that you go into this place and like enemies are everywhere, and you're just like one shot every one of them, like pinning them off. And that feeling is so good. It's what you want. You're like, I'm just wiping them out, and they're just like potting around you. You don't have a fucking clue what's going on. I'm coming for you next. And it's brilliant that way. Yeah, so the story's really great. Like, the game looks just amazing all the time, I think. I still have the Curse of the Pharaohs to do now. I also actually did the full Discovery Tour, which I don't think gets enough credit for what they did. I think they did one for Odyssey as well. Those Discovery Tours are mad. Like, they're full-blown history lessons in a video game. And that is so cool. Like, you just run around as whatever character you like, and you just follow this tour, and you just... There's so much knowledge of learning about Egypt in the game, which is like insane. So to put that into a video game, when people say video games teach you nothing, to those dickheads who say that, you know, like, there you go. There's a full-blown history lesson going on in Assassin's Creed Origins. So I've the Curse of the Pharaohs next, and do you know what? I'm going to attempt the Platinum and Odyssey as well. So that's my next goal. So,
Well,
come on, the Creed, Valhalla. I'm all ready for you.
well,
Is that your
yeah,
challenge?
yeah.
Do it,
Yeah.
platinum that before Valhalla comes out.
I'd like to. I really like to, because
You
I'm
will.
just like I love Assassin's Creed anyway, but I'm kind of just in that Assassin's Creed zone right now where I'm like, I was last night ordering like the books, like the novels and stuff. I'm like,
Wow.
I just want Assassin's Creed all the time now at the moment. So
Wow.
yeah.
Well, this question, we only got one question this week because we didn't put the call out because it's going to be a bit of a shorter episode. But you know, they can't all be 2-hour epics, can they? They just can't. It's from G-Town Steve on our Discord, who actually just missed the cut-off last week. That's why we got it this week. So, who most influenced your style as a teenager? Who made you who you are? Gary, I'm assuming it's Pat Cash,
Who's Pat Cash?
tennis player that will. Obviously, that won't work on the audio version, but
No. I
Good.
don't remember.
there's no one person you can point to that was just like, no, because I can do it.
It's going back.
Like that.
You know, it's
So
like
simple.
20 odd years.
Yeah, I can still do it. I could just bang do it, but I'll wait. Chris, then how about yourself? Gary, some thinking time.
What?
I'm saying if you answer, leave Gary. He can think a bit longer.
Oh, I thought you said some name that someone
thought-
I remind you of. I thought you were being a dick to me as
No,
well.
no, no. Just Gary.
When I was younger, I was
Well, I
very
assume
much...
if you could look to your left very briefly for the video version. I assume it's not far enough. It's really far to the left. Yeah, it's Gareth Bale, obviously, but then he's younger than you, isn't he? So I just sidebar for a minute. The German football was back, so I was watching football and like football was on, and it's just like football. And then I suddenly had this realization that even the old footballers, like even some of the ones who there was a show on Chris. This would mean nothing to Adam or Gary, I don't think, but you know Joe Cole.
Yes.
So in between, he is excellent. Okay, in between like one of the German matches, they just had this 10-15 minute thing. I'm just trying to give Gary as much thinking time as possible. But they had this thing on where Joe Cole, like they get like loads of football shirts, and they're like, you know, your career through football shirts. And I was watching this with Joe Cole, and I was like, he retired ages ago, didn't he? You know, he did, didn't he, Chris? And then I was like, he's fucking still younger than me. And I just realised.
How old is he?
He's 38. He has been retired for what feels like a long time,
Yeah.
and he's still younger than I am. And that was one of
crazy.
those moments where it's like, no. You see, he can't. No, because no. It's like, but that's all I could come up with. In my head is that no, I can't be older than retired footballers now. This isn't a thing. And it's like,
mate.
and then I was thinking, and I was thinking about like, and now I am thinking about actually like Jamie Redknapp. How old's Jamie Redknapp, Chris? He can't be
He's
younger
about-
than us. He's
No,
40-something.
he's about 42, I'd say.
Yeah,
He looks
must be.
very young, but he's about 42,
fuck
I'd
him.
say.
Fuck him and his boyish good looks.
Yeah, very
He ain't
sexy
lived
man.
life. Yeah, he's a good-looking lad. Like, you know, unlike his dad.
No.
But Chris, who influenced your style, or who made you who you are?
I was always very much influenced by the music I listened to. So I
Okay.
remember going through a phase.
You're laughing at your own. What you're about to say. This isn't
I'm just
good.
thinking what I did before a gig once. I painted my nails black and dressed like Kobe Shaddix from
Papa Roach.
Papa Roach.
Oh,
So Papa Roach, I had a red baseball cap a la Fred Durst.
That is
Well, then-
spicy.
But then I grew up, right? And then it was more
Kylie Minogue.
more Limp
Kylie
Bizkit.
Minogue, Michael Ball,
Avril,
No,
don't forget Avril.
Avril. Oh, fucking babe. But no, it was more along the lines of like Lane Staley from Alice in Chains and Kurt Cobain and Eddie Vedder and all that. That was when I found my feet with music, and didn't just listen to angry, shouty, new metal because it was all the same. Like, there's a lot of good like progressive rock and stuff like that out there now, and that was just not. But yeah,
Fair.
I'd go down the grunge fashion, I guess.
Okay. See, I'm interpreting this more as general, not as like fashion. I'm just a general style.
Yeah.
So, Gaz, have you thought of anyone, or we just gonna just a pass?
I mean, I think I would honestly say my granddad. Like,
Okay.
so, like he taught me how to draw. Like back when I used I used to be really into like drawing artwork, and I wanted to be an animator. So I used to love like is it Tony Hart?
Yeah.
I used to, him and like that program that he did with Morph and stuff.
I thought you were talking about Art Attack.
No, Art Attack was great though.
Yeah.
I used to love Art Attack as well.
Absolutely.
Like talking heads.
But yeah, I mean, most of my granddad. Like, I used to spend a lot of time with my granddad, and like I'd go on holiday with him and stuff like that. It was just he was a really sound guy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's no joke to be made. That's just a really sweet answer. Adam Carroll?
Well, clearly, judging by my physique, it's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, surely.
Of course, yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
It has to be that. Like, no, I'd say.
And mine, obviously, also mine. Carry on. You're not supposed to laugh that hard at that.
I enjoy when people rinse their own self. It's brilliant. No, do you know what I have to say? It once again, same as Chris, it's music related. Not someone in particular as such, but I still to this day wear a lot of like flannel shirts and all that jazz, and I was very influenced by Canadian lumberjack style. Like
Okay.
I like the band Alex on Fire. Like there's
Okay.
the guitarist Dallas Green. He would wear a lot of like hats over, like rolled up over his ears, and he'd have flannel shirts. Neil Young used to bust a lot of flannel shirts. It's kind of grungy as well at the same time.
Yeah.
But it was mainly that kind of style as well. Just I love that kind of thing. Flannel shirts are the business.
Yes.
I mean,
And black nails. I actually did that too.
Yes.
I did that. I actually caused the store when I went in with like, I think the time the Converse were like, they were just like, we if I wore Converse in school, I was in for it, you know. I was like, fucking clown shoes, what the fuck are they? All this kind of stuff, you know. When I came in with black nails, whoo! Let the riots begin.
for me, then, I mean, musically, I suppose Kurt Cobain had a bit, but honestly, the person who most influenced my style, who made me who I am today, if I'm thinking certainly celebrity-wise, it's Rick Mail. Like, Rick
Who's
Mail.
Rick Mail? I'm very bad at names.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
And the young ones.
Oh, right.
Yes, that was my impression.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking hell.
Just sorry, you've just reminded me that just like watching Bottom live.
Thank you, Gary.
Fucking,
Yeah,
oh
there
my
you
god!
go. See, like,
that
I
is
don't know Bottom
hilarious.
enough at all.
It surprises me you
myself.
don't know Bottom enough.
Yeah, round the back. His name is
Listen to the food pod for more.
yeah. Well, no, Rick Mail. Like, I have never been affected by a celebrity death. Never. And yet, I still, if I see a clip of Rick, get really sad. That man shaped my humour, and humour is much of who I am. I just loved him. Like, it was like I love that now there are people who would watch it and go like, "Oh wow, I can't believe he's saying that." It's like, no, that's the joke. The joke is that he can't say that. Like the young ones, where they would actually use racist language. That nowadays people are like, they're racist. Like, no, they are poking fun at the racists. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that kind of subversive thing that even in the 80s and before that, in fact, was taboo and not done. And even then, they were fighting against the bastards. Do you know what I mean? They were fighting even then, way before it was cool, way before it was the social norm to try and pretend you're liberal. They were back then already things that didn't even exist. You know, I'll never forget some of the episodes of the young ones, even when I am like, wow, even I was like, oh, Jesus, this got on telly. And of course stuff got on telly back then, but I love the fact it was subverting, because there were TV shows that were just outright racist, and I love the fact that they were able to use their language against them by saying, no, you might let this go because you're like, yeah, it's fine, it's the 70s and 80s and we're allowed to be racist, but they're not being racist. they're poking fun at you who are racist. That sort of shit. I love that. But also, just the guy made me laugh. Like, I love the fact that he. I listened to a football podcast. Like, I don't know if you listened to it, Chris. Like that Peter Crouch show, and they were talking about Roy Keane a lot recently.
Yeah.
And how Roy Keane is a real
Is
miserable.
that the tall fella?
Yeah, that's Peter Crouch. They're talking about Roy Keane, who's Irish, Adam, but he's a real. It's quite funny how angry and miserable he is.
Oh,
but they're trying to put together this. This is the thing. They're trying to put together this gallery of photos of where their arm around him, and he's like. He's like, well, you fucking better take it then. If your girlfriend's really funny, he's really angry about it. And yet there's this clip of Rick I remember where he's not on camera, but he turns around and realises someone's filming him. He doesn't get angry. He just turns around and he's looking at him going, "It's that big." He's talking about how big is. Instantly, he's just there watching. He's just literally. This is not going to work well on the audio. But he's just watching the speaker on stage, and then he sort of clocks. And he's like, and he just starts acting up because he knows they're filming him, and he could have easily gone, "Come on," But instead, he's just like plays along. And he's like, yeah. And it's just. I just love the fact that he always seems to have time for his fans, and genuinely, I still mourn that guy. I still, to this day, expect him to suddenly reappear and go, "Ha ha ha! Fucking gotcha!" Because he can't be dead. The people's poet cannot be dead. But
that's the sort of humour that he could get away with as well.
He could get away with that. He could, and he'd secretly been away writing like another 6 Bottom Live stage shows, and Edmondson had decided he was going to do comedy again and not serious stuff. And
I just love
like a different lifetime.
Them two together were so good. I mean, it's what made Bottom Live so good as well.
See, I was too young to go to the first one, but the second one I was still too young. But I managed to convince my mum to take me and a friend to see Bottom Live 2, and they, in terms of swearing, they didn't just swear; they went for the C-bombs, and like it was just.
It's just the fact that they're trying to one-up each other, trying to make each other break, and. More often than not, it was Rick that broke.
Oh, Rick was terrible with his lines.
It was brilliant. It's just that sort of thing always makes me laugh. And the fact that they did that as well as maintaining the actual show.
Also, just shout out to Rick in The New Statesman, which he didn't write, but his portrayal of Alan Bastard, the Tory MP, is it's kind of frightening. There are scenes from that you watch now and you're like, shit, did they have a time machine? Because there's a scene where they are literally Rick as the Tory leader. No, he wasn't the Tory leader, was he? He was just a Tory MP. And he was there just like going, and we are going to let these foreigners come to Britain. And he's like, and then the line is, and if you think that I am the one to lead this, then I humbly accept your. It's like you look at it and go, did they know something that we didn't? Because that is a tremendous show that is difficult to watch because of, like it's just difficult to watch. But yeah, Rick Mail loved everything he ever did, even fucking stuff that people hadn't heard of, like Believe Nothing, where he plays Adonis Canute. Which again, always, it was so clearly the fact that surname Canute, Cnut, is an anagram of another word, and they didn't need to ever say it. But yeah, Rick Mail. That's my Rick Mail podcast. Thank you very much for being here, chaps. Just a quick reminder: if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you very much. If you're not, but you like our voices, our style of this podcast, have a look on youtube.com/GodIsAGeek, because we do lots of stuff there that you may not see if you just listen to this podcast. And it really, really helps us if you subscribe and click the bell button. Really helps us. And I tell you what, it's been lovely seeing comments on these videos, but people are enjoying this. Makes it mean we keep doing it. Chris, Gary, Adam, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we will speak to you next week, or whenever you choose to listen, watch, download, whatever. We will see you next week. Bye-bye for now. See you later.